Hi there, this is Alex Mitchell with the Go Tech Yourself channel, and today I'm presenting how to be a great remote product manager. Before we jump in, again, that's me. I'm the Chief Product Officer of a company called ICX Media. You can find more from me on Twitter, on Medium, at my website, on my newsletter, or in the couple books I've written that are available on Amazon. Also, I'd really appreciate if you share this channel with anyone in the product or tech community who may be interested, and click that subscribe button so you can get content as I release it. So please check those out. Also in the notes, you can find these links so you don't have to memorize them. But let's jump into that topic today and talk again about being a great remote product manager. It's undeniable, but more and more product managers are going remote today. More and more tech employees, more and more employees in general are going remote. A few years ago, something like 1% of all employees were remote. Today, that's up to 6%. Still doesn't sound big, but things are starting to gain momentum, starting to increase exponentially. And then obviously the coronavirus, COVID-19, has only accelerated that more, forcing people like myself to go fully remote as product managers. Over the past 8 years, I've worked at 4 different companies that have had some distributed or remote teams, ranging from our quality team to our engineering team, designers, some cases even product folks. But really, I've always been the person in the office. So even though I've been working with these remote teams, I've always been that person coming in every day, reporting, sharing from inside the office, until really these past couple of weeks where our company, ICX Media, as many of you out there, has gone fully remote. And so what I want to share is the things that I've seen great remote product managers and really great tech employees who are working remote, great engineers do, in many cases that have made them effective. But for this, I'm going to focus mostly on product manager, but you could take these for a lot of those other positions. So the first thing I've seen great remote product managers do is leverage Slack and chat in general responsibly. You're going to feel a lot of pressure to jump in on Slack, jump in on every single conversation, trying to pay attention to everything all at once to really simulate maybe that feel of being in the office. But honestly, that's just going to drive your team crazy. So, keep this in the back of your mind as you're jumping in those Slack channels. You don't have to over communicate on every single thing out there. And this goes for if you use Slack, if you use Teams, if you use something else, same message here. Second big one is that, again, you're going to see this happen a lot more now that everyone's in those chat channels. Just keep in the back of your mind that a quick video call almost always is worth it. I've seen this a million times. I've seen it even before I've gone remote. You have these Slack chats that go back and forth, a lot of messages, a lot of confusion. Sometimes people come in and out of the conversation. Take the 5 minutes, jump on a quick video call. You won't regret it. You'll get to the point a lot quicker than everyone trying to type out their thoughts and losing everything in translation, really. Also, you're going to, it depends on what type of personality you have, but you might feel this weird, kind of pressure. You're at home. You might not prepare as much for meetings. They feel more casual. But I really highly encourage you to treat meetings just like that person is sitting across the table or those people are in that same room as you. So put the same level of preparation into those meetings. Of course, it's going to be a little bit different. People have connection issues. You're going to experience all those type of things as you do with any calls or any conferences. But really just put the preparation in. It'll show, it'll make things go smoother. It'll make it less frustrating for the people in the meeting and make it much more productive. So keep putting that preparation in the meetings, even though you're doing them from home. Take breaks. This is a really hard one for me in general, but something I have to almost force myself to do. So I put it on my calendar to take a break for lunch, to go for a walk, because you're at home and because you're on your computer, all the time, and you're not having those natural breaks of people coming up to your desk or seeing people go and get lunch and you joining them. You have to remind yourself sometimes to kind of take those breaks. You'll be much more effective if you take even quick 15, 20-minute breaks throughout the day than if you just try and power through it and do 5 hours in a row at your desk. So take breaks, definitely makes you more effective remote product manager. You're going to have a lot more quiet time at home than you would in the office. So in the office, again, the product manager is getting typically interrupted a lot. They're getting a lot of questions from the sales team, client success team, you name it. At home, sure, you're going to get Slack interruptions, every so often, but you really are going to have a lot more downtime. So leverage this downtime to plan. I've written a lot about this on my Medium posts if you want to go check those out. All the different ways you can kind of leverage this quiet time. But one of the best ways, and one of the things I'm doing right now, is kind of thinking about the next quarter. How can our teams, best use the time that they have in that next quarter? How can we attack the projects that we need to attack in the best way? Use that quiet time to plan. You mentioned this a little bit too. So don't just get out of the house to kind of, get your brain moving, but if you can actually go to, other places to work, obviously with the current outbreak, you're kind of probably restricted to your house. But in general, once this passes, if you are a remote product manager, you'll benefit from going to a co-working space. You'll benefit from going to a coffee shop. You'll benefit from just getting out of your house and having more, creative workspaces that you can kind of use for various purposes. So don't get stuck in your house. Obviously, we're in a little unique situation right now, but try and get to those places that kind of spark your creativity as a remote product manager. And then final one here that I've seen great product managers do who work remotely is they actually find time to meet their teams in the real world. Again, current situation notwithstanding, they find opportunities, whether that's their sprint planning, whether that's a monthly meetup with a happy hour, whether that's a quarterly offsite where everyone goes and meets in a city. They find these opportunities to meet their engineering teams, to meet their other product managers, and really build those connections that really, only happen in the real world, only happen person to person. And so that can be as simple as a lunch, that can be as complex as a complete offsite in another country. Seen it done a lot of ways, but that is really impactful and really helps you build those strong bonds with your team. So if you're a remote product manager, try and meet your team on some cadence in the real world. So those are all the things great remote product managers do. Here are a few ones bad remote product managers do. So on the flip side of that kind of healthy chat communication we talked about before, bad remote product managers think they're doing a good job if they hover over their team on chat. They're watching all the Slack channels. They're instantly responding. They're, trying to ask a ton of questions of their engineers. Really, that's just interruptive. It hurts your your team's ability to deliver, and doesn't make you look any more effective at your job. It's just really annoying. It's really disruptive. Don't be that remote product manager. On the flip side of it, don't be super unavailable. So since you're going to be at home, maybe you're doing some heads down planning, you still need to recognize, the product manager is a conduit of information, someone who needs to kind of process and translate information between a lot of different parts of the business. So while you don't need to respond right away or feel the need to hover, you don't want to be someone who checks out for a day or a couple days and decisions aren't made. Prioritization is not done. Kind of things have to wait for you. You don't want to be that that remote, that distant. That would be bad. That could definitely hurt your team's ability to deliver. Bad remote product managers also don't respect schedules. As everyone moves remote, or even a substantial part of your business is remote, you need to be aware of the times that people work, how they like to be communicated to. A bad product manager just kind of reaches out to people when it's convenient for them. That might be super early in the morning, that might be very late at night, but you need to be aware of other people's schedules on your team. They may have kids, they may prefer to work in a certain time of the day, or they might be in a certain time zone. So be aware of their schedules and try and support those schedules. Try and work with your teams to kind of plan when, everyone's going to be online, then you want to have your team meetings then. You don't want to interrupt them all the time. And then the last one, somewhat similar to what I mentioned before, yeah, you're at home. Yeah, you might feel the desire to keep your sweatpants on or not shower. But honestly, aside from a few other downsides to those things, it's not professional. It'll make you feel like you're not professional. It'll just kind of reflect poorly on you, and it will come across on calls that you're on. So try and maintain that professionalism, even though you're not in the office, even though no one's really checking on you. It will help you kind of produce better quality work. It will help you still feel professional. So maintain that professionalism. You'll see it reflect on the rest of the business. So those are just a few things I've learned being a remote product manager, talking with a lot of other people who have done this a lot longer than I have. Hopefully these tips help. Hopefully they strike a chord. And again, I would say check me out on Medium, on Twitter, on my website here, newsletter, books. You'll find a lot more of content like this. And again, if this was helpful to you, please share it with other product managers, other people in tech out there. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to build up this channel, share a lot of great content like this. So thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate it.